Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It is time for another weekly painting progress. And it's been an odd one this week. I actually got quite a bit done. I've been trying to clear space on that table of mine, but for some bizarre reason, I've just had like this string of really explicitly critical messages and comments and emails about the quality of my painting, which was just bizarre because, number one, I've never, ever considered myself anything of an expert painter. And number two, it was like really oddly specific and critical of like certain things, which means somebody's really spending time to watch this stuff to critique how I'm painting, which, I mean, I guess is cool that somebody's that focused and frustrated and pissed at me that my painting isn't that good. I am not a professional by any means. I mean, this is for fun, so I would like it to remain fun for all involved. If you are feeling that frustrated and irritated about my painting, don't watch. If it's going to bother you that much, I am painting for my enjoyment. I just prefer building the models than painting them, but what the hell, I'm still painting them anyways. Old Heartbreaker model that Impact Miniatures put out. You can see I did an awful job of cleaning up the resin restic. I don't remember what it was. It was like, they had a special name for the material that they were using, and it's not Cyocast, but I didn't clean it that good, so take that. I'm going to point out every imperfection today, and I didn't do a good job of highlighting his eyes, and I've got ink on my fingers. Cool. Anyway, these were really fun models. Kev Smith, I think, did them all. Originally, at least. And considering that they are still being produced by Impact Miniatures, and if you are a fan of that old school look, grab yourself a couple, because these are a lot cheaper than trying to track down the original metals. And I prefer stuff that's not metal. But that's just me. Okay. Continuing the theme of incredibly random foot knights. Broke this one through a glob of glue, and you can see how it's all smeared up and caked there. And I had an awful job of painting him, and I swear it's got to be my eyes. I actually made an appointment to go see the optometrist this week, and I don't know what's with the sloppy sunburst thing there. But I don't care, even at a 4x zoom, you know, from a tabletop distance, I think it'll look okay. I've just been having fun painting these guys in various random colors. And there you can see where the ink got all over that one. Maybe I'll go back and fix it. Very simple. I'm not looking to win any awards, but they're colorful and fun. Why he's got bloody blood drops, I don't know. I was thinking of this guy to be a compliment to my sort of relish mustard. I guess this could be Sir Ketchup Mayo. It's like they started so nice and simple when I first started painting them, and now they're getting into really weird duotones and patterns and stuff. But I love the fact that not a single one of them matches at all in any way, shape, or form. And I know there's more. I don't know where I put them, but those are what's handy at least. And I promise that every single one of them from this point forward will look completely different in some way, shape, or form than the others. But I am thinking of making a blue and gold team of them for my own nefarious purposes. So those are done. And then I started to work my way through some of the city-state stuff I have for Conquest. And these were really, really sloppy dry brushing for the most part. This is a Thoracite, if I remember correctly. The Agama, I don't know the correct pronunciation, and the Thoracites were a dual kit. Yep, look how sloppy that is. Something got back there. I don't know what this weird strap is on the back of his tunic. See, it actually goes underneath the tunic there. But it's only on the one side. So if anybody has any historical precedents to enlighten upon me, by all means, please share it. Just like the historical perspective of their cybernetic hands. That's kind of a fun one. So as I said, that is a Thorokite. The Agema are pretty similar. Different heads, capes, and if I cannot throw him off the screen, they've got the straight kind of gladiator spada. What's that? No, I don't remember, but you can see here there's a difference. They have a straight blade, they have a bit of a curved one. I'm not sure what I was trying to do with his shield design. Sloppy, don't care. And then finally, I'm thinking that the cape from this one is actually supposed to be for this guy. At least that is the commander's head, and he's got like this weird, like emblem on his chin. And I think there was a bit fancier, flashier shield that I didn't end up using for him. But it gets the job done. And stupidly, I actually tried to paint, you can see the line, the stripes on the interior of his cape. Why would I do that to myself? I don't know, but I did it anyway. Trying to get these guys done, I recently picked up one of the starter sets for the city-states, which I will show off hopefully soon. Again, if you're interested in the Conquest models, it's a great way to start the game, but I figure I got some of these painted already, so I picked up a box of them. And it's funny just seeing them in comparison to actual Roman models. They're gigantic if you're going to start mixing scales. But if you want to do something like of Gods and Mortals and, you know, have them be larger than life heroes, they'd be great for that. I know, especially with the there's a new set of them coming out that look like Argonaut types, and they have one very Herculean looking dude, I thought. And then finally, what I've really been trying to do is clear my way through my Children of the Flame from the Dragon Trappers Lodge. I printed a ton of them, I did a ton of videos, and it's only fair that I actually try to get things moving on that. And so that's really what I've been trying to do with my free time when I'm actually sitting down to paint. And unfortunately, I really didn't get to paint much this week, believe it or not. Some of this stuff has been just continually getting plugged away at. I know I had to leave the classroom twice and had to write sub-plans, so that usually takes up most of my evening. Had family over one night. That tends to take up a bunch of time too. But these were the basic infantry troops for the Children of the Flame. So as you can see, they have like kind of great coats, kind of a steampunk World War II-esque fantasy look. Supposed to be typical troopers. And as is always the case with most of the Dragon Trappers Lodge models, they have a bunch of weapon variants. There's like 4 or 5 sculpts for every unit. Sadly, the only unit that actually has rifles or firearms of any kind are the female sniper unit, and that is the only one. This guy comes from the command group. Obviously, he's got the flag on a spear there that he's carrying. I guess this is a great swords unit. And then I can't remember if this guy was actually the champion for that unit or if he was one of the heavier guys. There were a couple of different types of units, actually, so I cannot recall, to be 100%. But you can see here, he's got a little bit different armor. He's actually got the helmet. He's got heavier shoulder pads, heavier gauntlets. The lower half is pretty much the same. But I used an awful primer. I don't even remember what brand, and it's been nothing wanted to stick to it. Everything didn't matter if I just caked it on, didn't matter if it was thinned down, nothing wanted to stick to this stuff. And I don't know how I finally got everything. I think I just kept trying to put really white washes or dry brushing on, and eventually that was something to build onto and worked from there, but it's been a pain. I have not enjoyed the process of getting these guys painted. And the painting, that's my fault, 100%. Figures came out okay. Some of their friends, though, not so much. This is one of the heavies that I had just mentioned. You can see here he is actually, besides the fact that he's got wings, a little bit larger and bulkier than the, well, he's not even a typical one. the regular Children of the Flames. Bulkier tail, bigger weapons, thicker armor. It's got the long little loincloth thing going on there. I was thinking about doing the Gatling guns in a different color, or at least the shield here. I'm not sure what though. It's like if we get really, really close, you can see what a sloppy job I did. I didn't paint his teeth either. Sometimes with dragons I can't tell if it's actually teeth or if it's part of like that beak of theirs. And speaking of dragons, my piece de resistance this week, as I get the camera better adjusted and shake it around there, and focus in on those buildings, which by the way are from Tabletop Combat, because every couple of weeks somebody is asking me about that. But one of the things the Children of the Flame have are dragons, and I finally got one painted. And in fact, this is probably the first dragon in a long time that I've actually painted. And it's not that he's like super ridiculously huge or anything. But again, I used that same stupid primer, and it was just a hassle to work with. Now what's interesting is he's got a whole selection of riders that can sit on that saddle there. I believe they do have versions that are saddleless as well. And then he's got his literal tail gunner back there. And you can't even see it. The base and the tail are getting in the way of the camera. But there's a kobold back there with a minigun. Just for funsies, right? Now I wanted to point out something. You'll see there is this little spot right here. There is a hole there. That is absolutely on purpose. There are two hard points, one on each side, that can actually equip all kinds of different interesting things. There's guns, there's saddlebags and stuff, there's bombs, there's just a fun assortment of extra bits that you can customize your dragon's loadout. And so yeah, there were actually a few of these. I've got mine with the medic, not that you can see the medical sign on him. I was going to paint like a red cross on the shield there. Funny enough, he does actually look a lot like the medic on foot that I painted quite some time back, who is not currently on my table here. He's sitting upstairs where I like to paint as a paint guide reminder. But with these guys and some of the fun stuff like the various siege wyverns that the Children of the Flame have access to, this is going to be, like I said, I am planning to fully flesh out and get a workable Children of the Flames army ready for tabletop usage. So I am pretty pleased with myself in that regard. I believe at this point I do have a full unit of the great swords. My next attempt is to finish up some of the bombardiers that I've got lugging cannons around, and I've got a couple of almost finished snipers, but honestly I'm going to shelve most of that for the time being so that I can start working on those acolytes of the primordials from them as well. Just really fun, interesting models. And as always, I'll have those links if you don't know where to find this stuff, because obviously I want to point you in the right direction, because that's half the fun of this channel, is me just showing and pointing out interesting things that maybe I'm going to enjoy. And honestly, it's my channel, and that's what I want to do. So there. So anyways, with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.